They say, fame is a loud room. But listen closely. Somewhere, behind the noise, there's a small door where the lights are low and the music barely breathes. That's where a man becomes a father, and everything changes. Rakim Mayers. The world knows him as ASAP Rocky, a visionary, a style icon, a man who turned Harlem's rhythm into global fashion. But at home, under quiet light, he wears a different name. He calls himself a loving husband. It's not a headline soundbite, it's a confession. Simple, fierce, real. He says, being a father, a partner, an artisan, that's what makes me really, really happy. Imagine him, sitting at a small table before sunrise, a cup of coffee cooling beside a photo of tiny feet. He doesn't speak of awards or charts. He speaks of love in its simplest form. Family. The world saw the glamour. Met gala moments, red carpets, runway flashbulbs. But at home, it's the sound of tiny footsteps, the smell of pancakes, and the quiet giggle that makes a day feel whole. He says, it doesn't matter what hat I wear that day. It's about giving it my all RZA, the steady beat of the family, riot, the laughter that shakes the walls, and Rocky Irish, the newest light, born this year. When asked what his favorite creation was this year, he didn't mention music or fashion. He smiled and said, my daughter. That's my favorite thing I created this year. Fame may give you 1,000 hats, but fatherhood teaches you which one fits the soul. Behind the noise and the neon, there's a man who finally found his quiet center. And in that silence, he found home. Every new child is a teacher. They arrive with tiny hands and endless lessons, rewriting everything you thought you knew about patience, humility, and wonder. Rakim, ASAP Rocky, has walked red carpets and lit runways, but fatherhood humbled even his finest designs. It taught him that every day is a new blueprint, a draft that only love can finalize. He once measured life in studio sessions and fashion deadlines. Now, time is marked by nap schedules, tiny socks, and the slow rise of a sleeping chest on his shoulder. He says being present, truly present, is what drives him now. Picture him in a morning kitchen, hair uncombed, a tiny hand reaching for his face. He's not thinking about beats or brands, he's thinking about breakfast, about peace, about making this moment last. RZA, the oldest, already carries his father's calm, Riot Rose, a wild little symphony of laughter and energy, and tiny Rocky Irish, the new arrival, the quiet heartbeat of the house. Together, they fill the rooms with music no studio could ever record. Notice the pattern: Robin, Rakim, RZA, Riot, Rocky. Each name begins with R, like a melody that runs through every heart in this home, a secret code of belonging, a promise of continuity. But apprenticeships aren't easy. Every artist knows the struggle of balance, to give your all without losing yourself. He's learned to protect his family without hiding them, to be seen but never exposed, to build boundaries with love instead of walls of fear. He calls fatherhood his greatest creation. Not a performance, a practice, not a moment, a movement within the heart. This is part 2's truth. Fatherhood is a discipline of love. It humbles you, it reshapes you, and somehow it sets you free. There's a rare kind of courage, the kind that doesn't roar. The courage to choose tenderness in a world that rewards noise. And that is the story of Rakim Mayers, ASAP Rocky. He's learned that legacy isn't built in stadiums. It's whispered in lullabies. It's the word Dada practiced by a child until it becomes a prayer. At night, while the world sleeps, there's a ritual, a book, a blanket, a small voice asking for just one more. And there, in that quiet repetition, he builds something more powerful than fame. He builds memory. He once said his creative life was about hats, rapper, designer, dreamer. But maybe the most sacred hat is the one he wears when he tucks his children in. Frayed brim, soft edges, full of light. There are public images, headlines, photos, red carpets, but the private ones are the real legacy. A tiny shoe on the stairs, a note on the fridge that just says, "Love you." Parenthood and partnership, he says, Bring him his deepest joy. Not the momentary flash of applause, but the slow, steady happiness that anchors a life. What does it mean to raise children in a world made of cameras? It means teaching them that silence is a sanctuary, that they don't have to be symbols. They can just be themselves. It means choosing presence over performance. Because if fame teaches you to perform, fatherhood teaches you to return. Return to stillness, return to truth, return to love. He once said it simply, "Being a loving husband and a father is what really, really makes me happy." And maybe that's how legacy sounds. Not in applause, but in a child's laugh echoing through a quiet room. In a world that loves spectacle, he chose ritual. And perhaps that quiet act of loving every day is the loudest legacy of all.